Breaking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies. You children popping mollies. I'm so intelligent, my honesty turned into philosophy. I go hard in the paint, the harder I play. Nigga, I'm like Harden on James, a problem to face. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve, just look in my eyes. Nigga, you can do what you need, I do what is right. I don't fucking want what you have, just look at your life. Nothing about it sacred to me, it's out of my sight. That just means it's out of my mind, it's not worth the fight. Nigga, yeah, I'm out of my mind, I'm out of my mind. Hey, you did what you did. Give a fuck about intentions. You can watch what I do. Just stay the fuck out my mentions. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint.
All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke,
yeah, ayy, well, we can hold the peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Real gang, that's a true name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sacred Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me, I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empires fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony, ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. You really have people fooled out here, don't you? When are you peasants gonna learn that you can't pretend to be a king? It ends today.
yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, if I see it, I cop it, yeah, hey, yeah, let's go, let's.
We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
Yeah, if I see it, I cop it. Running through stores, if I see it, I rock it. Yeah, girl, if you see it, I got it. Run it up more, we need all the profit. 100 racks back up in summer 16. Spent that whole bag on a whole summer dream. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow off some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. Pushing that product, just got a new shipment. Pushing that roll 50 over the limit. Cushion that blow, I don't get why they with it. We at the top and we throwing the game. All of these peasants will know of my name. All of these blessings, we staying the same. The drip is fluorescent, I'm going insane. Royal genetics all up in my veins. Back me a real one and gave her my name. All of these issues, but no one to blame. Praying that God will just show me the way. Changing the game, got the source code, and I'm off-road and my horses go skirt. One in the same day, of course, no, we in first, yo, all my niggas we were. Faking the fame, but we all know, cause the source told all you niggas just learn. Talking and saying y'all pseudo, and it's true though, y'all just popping them perks. Taking the stage, got a few shows, let the crew know it's a cloud in the dirt. I am the king and it's my throne, y'all are kind though, they keep calling me Zerk.
Be at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
We only got one life, I'ma get that. If you with that, do not sit back and just wish that you had it. Despite all your witchcraft and your riffraff, this is my gift and you wish that you had it. Tonight gonna bump trap, gonna thump that. Drums in the back and you know that we have it. Girls like where the one at, need to run back. Flee from these niggas, you know that they savage. They acting macho like they Randy Savage. They call me Pablo, the kingpin is at it. I am Apollo, you Rocky, I've had it. Y'all can just follow cause niggas is slacking. I am Jack Sparrow, my verses is cracking. I am the ghost and you rappers is Pac-Man. Out in the coast and I'm getting more blacking. Y'all acting hairy, I'm grabbing the waxing.
Top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lobster and shrimp, if I see it, I cop it. I am that kid, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Go to the fucking gym.
Huh?
Go to the fucking gym.
Hey, you making some kind of joke?
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3007 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Ooh, what's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and yahoo, it's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. And today's episode of the Beastcast is sponsored by Everesting K2, flexing on all you bees. All right, fam, hashtag SFGs in the comments down below for a chance to win today's Swole card. Of course, that stands for sick fucking gains, and you know that's what we're all about here on the Daily Swole. So make sure you hit the like button. Welcome to everyone on the Rumble and the Telegram chat. If you want to win today's Swole card, make sure you're watching over on Rumble or the Daily Swole Telegram chat. And of course, check out everything we have to offer inside Swolenormous X, because we have an amazing new app dropping soon. I'm going to keep on teasing you, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to hear all about it, and you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to be a part of this because it's absolutely off the chain. It might even be off the tits. I know a lot of people like to be off the chain. No one wants to be chained up. You know, we fought wars over being chained up. No one wants to be on the chain. They all want to be off the chain, but you want to be, might want to be off the nips. You just want to be off everything. You're going to want to be on it. You're going to be, you want to be on this train, off the chain, but on the train. Don't miss the train. Get on the train right now. swolenormousx.com. All right, fam, let's get into today's episode. Drop in the comments. What are you smashing today? People are talking about their amazing P3S10, P3S XT or tank that is coming in now. So shh, don't ruin it. Let people, and I do appreciate, I see in the comments, everyone's like, oh my God, P3S10 is awesome. But I appreciate the respect for other members of the Swole fam. You're not telling anyone. Everyone's saying, oh, I got it, and it's great. But shh, it's a secret. So I appreciate you all allowing everyone else to be excited. So if you haven't gotten yours in yet, it should be on the way. You probably got your tracking and all that information. But if you've received it, talk about how awesome it is, but just don't give it away yet. Let everyone get their surprise. Fucking awesome. All right, I appreciate you. Also, yesterday we had a brand new drop over at papaswolio.com. Bull milk, great new design. I need to get a bull sound. 20% off the entire site over at papaswolio.com. Pick up some merch. Go and check it out, man. Get yourself some bull milk. 100% raw if you want a good protein, if you want something good post-workout. There's nothing superior to bull milk. Get every single vitamin and mineral that's essential for human survival and thrival. And thrival? I like that. Get yourself some bull milk. Go over to papaswolio.com and pick up an amazing bull milk tea tank hoodie mug. I think the mug might be great. You have bull milk on the side of that mug and everyone knows you're drinking bull milk. It's fantastic. All right, fam, let's get into today's episode. Are you ready? Let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, we got a couple Swole fam posts, and we do have an accountability text that I want to share. First one's going to be from Elizabeth.
What's in the box?
Elizabeth talking about her Swoleversary. So Elizabeth says, this is my Swoleversary, marking 4 years in the Swole fam. Wow, that's fantastic. Give a round of applause, some biceps for Elizabeth. In July of 2020, deep in the middle of lockdown, I grew sick of looking at the fat beach in the mirror. After having listened to Papa's podcast on YouTube for a couple weeks, I slapped myself in the tits and became a Swolenormous X member. I took the picture on the left minutes after I joined. The second picture is of me at a recent Comic-Con with Catzilla. I lost a total of 68 pounds and have kept it off. I was even able to maintain this despite suffering a fall that left me with a hip and shoulder injury, as well as helping guide my best friend through a battle with and eventually conquering of oral cancer. I spent that time really leaning into what Swolenormous X has to offer, from brain gains to chair yoga to the master classes that really helped me to figure out how to recover from my injury properly while still challenging myself along the way. I stayed the course because I really focused on those 7 pillars and the encouragement of the Swole Fam tribe. My best friend and I are currently in the final stretches of Swole season together with plans to attack Scorched Earth after a reset week between. We came back with a vengeance and are crushing it every day. Keep making those gains, and look at that. That is fucking lit. You're getting America. I was wondering what you were saying with Catzilla until we come to the Swole side of the force. I love it. Look at that transition from left to right. Looking great. Keep it up, and super stoked to have you in the Swole fam, and proud of you. Very proud of you, and really proud to have you with us in the Swole fam. Thank you for sharing your story. It's fantastic. And we have one from Lorema. And Lorema says, hello fam, I'm Lire from Cuba, but I have lived in San Diego, California for a couple years. Recently discovered Papa's podcast, decided to join, glad to be part of the community, and pretty sure that it'll be worth it. So absolutely, if you have any doubts, the post just before this tells you that it's absolutely worth it. And of course, I mean, it's worth it to everyone for different reasons. And of course, the Swole fam, the community is absolutely paramount, but all the training, the yoga, everyone's going to use the content a little bit differently to follow their 7 pillars. And of course, especially with the app coming, it's very exciting. I just sent out Lorema a Swole text because she signed up for Swole text. So I sent her, intro voice message welcoming her and letting her know that the app is coming soon. So very exciting. And yeah, this is a great time to join. It's a great time to join, to lock in your memberships and stuff, and get ready because we are going to start, soft launch and rolling that out shortly. So very exciting. Who's ready for the app? Is Cerny here? Cerny, you looking forward to that? Anyone? Cerny and Lacey are just getting more and more cranky every time I mention it. So I'm just going to keep on mentioning it because I know they're listening, like fucking grinding their teeth and like, I want this fucking app. All right, Mike says, this is an accountability response. We got one of these. Sometimes we get a couple in late and we want to feature them. So Mike says, my focus this week is mobility and nutrition. I will do chair yoga on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In addition to my regular training, the main focus of nutrition will be hydration and meeting the required amount of water and fluids for my height and weight. Some gorillas for you. All right, let's get into a couple emails. If you're not on the email list, man, if you're on the email list, you're going to be one of the first people to get notified when the app is available for download. So if you are not on the email list, it's not just for the daily emails. It's not just for all that. You will get all your alerts. You'll get all the notifications. You'll be the first to hear about any of the updates, specials going on, new updates for the app. We'll be sending out emails letting you guys know when there are updates. Of course, when you have the app, when the app is live, you'll be able to get push notifications. Of course, Swole text, you'll be notified, and especially when there's updates and new content that release in the app. So it's going to be super cool. Anyway, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. That's in the description, makeemailswoleagain.com. You might want to make America great again. That's fine, but let's make email swole again first. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com because email is not swole unless you're on the email list. And then I will stretch out your inbox, and I promise it might be uncomfortable at first, but you will soon like it. We got an email response from the How Soon Can You See Results email that went out recently. Ayana says, hey, Papa Swolio, this week I'm going to be working on getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I have not been doing so well and think that it affects the results that I work so hard for. Will set a bedtime and stick to it. So Ayana, I would recommend highly that you go and listen to this past weekend's episodes. There are 2, and I believe both of them go over sleep. They go over in depth, like preparation, things that you can do for a better night's sleep, scheduling and things like that. So it's not just about the length of time you're in bed. It's also the quality of the sleep that you're getting when you're there. You can go to bed and give yourself 8 hours, but you might be laying there for 2 hours and then waking up a few times during the night. So it's not really about how long you're in bed. It's about the quality of and the depth of your sleep while you're in bed, and preparing for it. So your circadian rhythm and your cycle is very important to lock down, and it takes time, and drastic changes can be very frustrating because it's not that simple. If you're normally going to sleep at 1 a.m., you're not going to be able to fall asleep at 9 or 10 suddenly. It's going to be hard for you to reset that, so you have to do it gradually. just make sure that you are continuing to prioritize it. You don't get frustrated. And if you're not a member, join us over at Swolenormous X and we'll help you get your sleep in order, simply because that's probably the most important thing. Water is number one, sleep too. It really is. I mean, sleep might even be number one. It's really right up there. It's more important than food. And until you look at your sleep the same way you look at your training, there's so many people that over obsess. And I won't say over obsess, but they put all their focus on their nutrition. Sure, nutrition is very important. It's essential. Training, very important, essential. But the time that you spend training, I mean, everything is training. That's why the 7 pillars, like all of that is training. If you don't have the 7 pillars, download free in the links below and swolenormousx.com in the menu. But if everything is training, if you think of everything in your life as training, that's what you should be doing. But sleep is training. Of course, it can fall under recovery pillar, but if you give the same attention to sleep and improving and quote unquote perfecting, getting as best as you can, sleep the same way you pay attention to your nutrition, your training, it's going to change your life. And anyone that has not paid attention to sleep, which is me, I'm a prime example. I know what it's like to not pay attention to sleep and not prioritize it. And I know what it's like to prioritize it. I know the drastic difference and I will never go back. And I'm not saying things are going to be perfect. I'm not saying you're going to get the best sleep every night. Every time you wake up in the morning, wow, I feel 110%. Yippee, hooray. I crushed my sleep. Sometimes things are going to happen. Maybe there's a storm. Maybe a tree falls in your yard and wakes you up and, you have to handle some shit in the middle of the night, or your kids are screaming, or who knows, like things are going to happen. But if you set yourself up for success, guess what? You're going to be successful more often than you aren't. All right. So proper preparation is important. Seneca. Hi, Papa. This week I'm hitting my base/maintenance trail run goal of 10 miles and 2,000 vertical feet. Will train once at home, 1 workout of the day at the CrossFit gym, and once in the regular gym with my teen. Minimum. Will add to it as I see fit. Peace out. Well, all right. Good for you. Sounds like you have your flow, and I'm not here to critique the details, but hopefully you are getting results with what you're doing, and it sounds like you have it all scheduled out and planned. Let's get into some questions. Are you ready, Beaches? Let's get into it. Yeah, questions. Hadouken. All right. If you got questions, drop in the comments, #AskPapaSwolio. We'll take live questions. I'll prioritize those first, but we'll get into some Instagram ones. But, these could be a little bit iffy. So don't expect amazing questions off Instagram, but maybe we'll get some topics. Drop your live questions with the #AskPapaSwolio. Please save us from Instagram questions. Too late. Guan HK007. How can I be more strong? By lifting heavier weights progressively over time. So
Matt Damon.
That's about as much time I'm going to spend on that question. Real Mr. L Cat. Real MRLCAT. Whatever. Papa Swolio, how to get girls? Well, go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym.
Hi, puppy.
Or have a podcast and stream to Costa Rica. How to get girls? Go to the fucking gym. Educate yourself. Make money. Focus on your career and developing yourself and being successful in your own right, learning who you are, following your passions, and building an amazing life for yourself. This is really honestly the answer. You need to fulfill yourself and your needs as a man before you worry about going out and chasing women. I really, especially nowadays, you need to get out in the world and fucking develop yourself as an individual. You can go travel, you can go start a business, go lift heavy fucking weights, go do some shit. Go do some shit, figure out who you are and what you're about, and then build that filter. And as you get established, as you go through, when you're 25, 30, 35, you're much more established and valuable to society and to females and to your counterparts. And if you know who you are and you're established in your society and your community, you'll find someone that can complement you. It's tough. It's tough to find quality women these days. It's also tough to find quality men. So be one of the few. Let's see here. All right. De La Junior. Papa Swolio. Hey, Papa, been a minute. Wanted to ask. I've fallen off a bit. these last 2 weeks. I'm feeling it. How should I get back into the flow of things? Dumb question, I know, but having some trouble getting back in the swing of things. Yeah, straight up. It's a dumb question. What do you mean? Get back and do it. Why'd you fall off? Don't fall off. Do the things that you need to do. What were you doing before you fell off? Do those things. It is a dumb question. I think you just needed to hear that it's a dumb question, but you already knew that. So don't ask me dumb questions. Go to the fucking gym. Get it done. Nothing's stopping you from doing what you did before. You're just not doing it. So do it. Mark Papasolio, how many new soundboards do you have that we haven't heard yet? I don't know. I don't hit all of them all the time. So there might be some that you think are new that I just don't hit often. But I need to. It just has not been adding new soundboards and finding things just hasn't been a priority. But we're going to maybe we'll get back into that in the future. But getting this app launched is priority number one. So a lot of other things are just getting pushed by the wayside. They can wait. They can wait. CR Wheaties, Papasolio, anything specific for mobilizing the Achilles tendon? Been working on ankle mobility and stretching it, but it's 50-50 whether I have to cut my runs short due to pain in my calf. So your Achilles is injured, but you're running? Why are you running so much? What are you trying to achieve? Specific for mobilizing the Achilles tendon? Yeah, strengthen it. Calf raises, focus on the full stretch. Calves are developed by stretch-mediated hypertrophy. They respond very well to stretch, so focus on the bottom half of the movement, the full stretch to at least neutral. That's going to be the most effective for developing your calf muscles. Working your anterior tibialis, doing yoga, practicing all sorts of mobility exercises. I mean, I wouldn't be running if it's causing you problems. Don't forget, any kind of tendonitis or issues like that take a long time. They get poor blood flow, so it might take a long time. And you don't want to fuck your Achilles up. That's for damn sure. That will linger for a long time. And doing like heavy weighted stretching, if you already have inflammation or issues, is probably not recommended. Let's see. Nicole sings songs. Papasolio, question about the shop. Do you think you'll ever put your Swole designs on totes and bags? I feel like we have that option. I'm not sure why we didn't launch, or maybe that's on the to-do list. I think we have that. Let me see. I'm pretty sure we have that option. So, yes, I would like to do that. I would like to do that. I have to see what is available in terms of what type of items, because I also don't want to put the stuff on things that suck. I want to make sure it's on something good. I don't want it to just be like, hey, my logo is on some cheap piece of shit. I just want to make sure that it's good. But yeah, I believe we have that option, but we have a big list. We got a big list. We got a big list of all the things that we want to do. And literally, this is one of the things when you run a company, you have to let some things burn. And what I mean by that is you can't do everything at once. You can't do everything and do everything well. Some things have to be pushed. There's a priority list. So like anything else in your life, you have to prioritize certain things, and some things aren't going to be a top priority. So as much as I think that's a great idea and I want to do that, anything that's not the app is just after. Anything, so a lot of stuff that got pushed back or things that are not being worked on or haven't been doing things with 100% focus on getting the app launched. And then after that, we can look at some of these other things. CR Wheaties, my Achilles doesn't hurt throughout the day, just when I go run. Stop fucking running, you tard.
Matt Damon.
My Achilles doesn't hurt throughout the day, only when I run. Stop doing that. Stop running. Stop the stress on your Achilles tendon from running. Plus, are you running neutral? Are you running on the balls of your feet? You shouldn't be running heel to toe anyway. So that's exceptionally damaging. How do you run? Like, stop doing it. Hey, when I punch myself in the face, it hurts. Yeah, stop punching yourself in the face. Okay. Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Heel to toe running is like literally, if you can get cancer from running, it's like heel to toe running. It's just fundamentally incorrect for human movement. That's why all the shoes have these big old flat, fat, fluffy heels. You're not supposed to be running on your heels. You have that, your Achilles and your foot arch and all the muscle in your feet are supposed to be what cushions every stride. Rafa, what's the meaning of life? Go to the fucking gym, dude. You'll find it. You'll find it at the gym, or at least it's going to be a lot of effort, so you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to figure it out. The meaning of life. The meaning of life, to find purpose, to make more of you, to make babies, find love, go look at some butterflies, walk out some grass, go to the beach. There's so many things you can do. I think there's a lot of meaning. I also think there's no meaning. But you could have your own purpose. You can definitely pursue purpose, not happiness. Don't pursue happiness. Pursue purpose and peace. Mark, how long does it usually take to come up with designs since you crank them out every week? Well, some designs obviously are more intricate than others. So we usually have a few designs that are being worked on that might take a few weeks or maybe even a couple months. We have a couple that are, because we go back and forth, change the text. It's a lot more work, but some of the other ones we can turn around in 24 hours. It could be overnight for some of these. It still has to be good. We like to always have a solid design. So if it's not solid, I mean, we release designs every single week. I think that's a great way to keep yourself creative, to be always creating content. But I mean, if there's absolutely nothing, I'm not going to put out shit. So if there's 1 week where we don't have merch, I'm not going to be like, oh, we failed. But we have so many ideas and so many designs that, like, we have a lot of different ones that might be like the bull milk one. It's really creative. It's very simple. So it wasn't hard to really design, but yeah, we're very efficient with merch. So we like to do a bunch of these other designs that maybe don't need drafts. They don't need sketches and back and forths. So we'll have a bunch of more quote unquote simpler designs that don't necessarily need professional designers and stuff or artists. And then we have other ones that take a lot more time. So we redo a lot of some of these other, like the bull milk one. That was you could see it's a very simple design. It's really cool with the brand on the bull. So it's great, but very simple from a structural standpoint. And then we have other designs that we'll work on that take more time. So we do some of these other ones in between. So it depends. It depends. Kara Alexis, we have no shortage of retarded Instagram questions. So save me, fam. How to keep my mind off unhealthy foods. Do more important things. Your mind just can't stop wandering to unhealthy foods. You're an addict. Treat it like an addiction. You have to realize that you are addicted. If you can't keep your mind off unhealthy foods, I mean, seriously, think about what this means. You just can't stop thinking about smoking a cigarette or drinking alcohol. It's an addiction. When you start treating this shit like an addiction, because it's not real, it's fake ass garbage. When you start looking at this stuff as an addiction, you'll treat it differently. You won't keep it in your house. You'll think about it differently. You should have we need more social shame when it comes to eating garbage foods. Someone who's morbidly obese that's eating a Domino's pizza and eating it guiltily in their house, that's some sick, twisted shit. It really is. It seems benign because everyone does it. We're going to watch something, you just eat, everyone gets together and gets garbage food and just stuffs their faces with this poison because you're surrounding yourself with people that are also addicts. If you're an alcoholic and you go out drinking with other alcoholics, everyone's just doing the same thing. So it seems normal. It's acceptable in that friend group. So the problem is a lot of times people's community, this is why pillar number 1 is so important. You surround yourself with other people that have the same bad habits. You're the product, right? You're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. That's not a science. This is a generality. It's just a saying. You're the average. Okay, you're the average of the 4 people. But Pop, I only spend time with 3 people. Then you're the average of these 3 fucking people. It doesn't matter. Pick a number. It doesn't matter. You're the average of whatever you surround yourself with. Podcasts, books, TV, people. Like, you are the product. You are going to be the result of that. You're not going to surround yourself with shitty, lazy people that are a fucking drag, always playing the victim, and you excel. You have to get rid of those. You have to suck that shit out of your life like a poison. So that's what it means. So you're an addict. You're addicted. You got to get them out of your house, get them out of your mind, stop spending time with people that indulge in those things, and replace that with better habits. Bill Leaper, 1, Papa Solio, who does your programming? I do. Does it change from week to week? No. I want results. I don't change my shit all the time because then you don't get results. So the second question is much better than the first one. You don't want to change your programming from week to week. If you change your shit all the time, you are shooting yourself in the foot. If you're doing different stuff, you're doing CrossFit workouts of the day and stuff, and it's really random shit, you're not going to make optimal progress. So I'll say optimal because if you're going from sitting on your ass to doing some sort of exercise and lifting, even if your programming sucks, you're going to make some progress from 0 to 1. And people are like, well, it's better than nothing. And this is what I hate when people say, when I troll something, or women that are hitting a exercise ball with drumsticks, or they're jumping outside in a parking lot with these floaty shoes or something. Well, at least they're doing something. It's better than nothing. Can we stop giving out medals for doing something that's better than nothing? Can we stop that already? Can two things be true? Okay, they're not sitting watching Netflix, but they're also doing worthless fucking garbage. Both things can be true. Yes, they're not sitting around. Okay, they're doing something. Congratulations, you're a human being. You're doing something. Can we stop patting people on the back for doing the absolute bare fucking minimum or retarded bullshit? Enough 8th place trophies and congratulations, pat on the back. You're doing something. Well, what you're doing is a waste of time and not going to get you any appreciable results. So do you want to do something and waste your fucking time, or do you want to do something that's actually going to get you progress? And then we can talk.
He's on fire!
Rosemary G. What's up, Beesh? What's up, Papa? What's up, Rosemary? Is it necessary to perform rear delt flies if I'm already doing single arm rows? Maybe. Single arm rows are not really going to target the rear delt. So for it's all about the arm, the humerus angle. If your elbows are more flared, you're going to get more middle traps, more upper traps, more rhomboids. You're going to get more posterior delt if your elbows are higher. If that arm angle, if you have that shoulder abduction, okay? So if you're doing a T-bar row, let me go back to the main screen. If you're here or you're here like that, that's getting a lot more posterior delt. If your arm is more close to the body, you only need to go to the midline. You're going to be getting more lat. And of course, you could do more lat overhead. You're still going to be working your posterior deltoid, but you're not going to be hitting it in the same plane of motion. You're not going to be targeting it in the same manner as if you have more shoulder abduction. So if you need to work on your posterior deltoids, if you need to work on your rear fly, if your posterior deltoid, and most people need to bring that up, then you want to prioritize it. So what you can do, and a lot of people don't think about this, you can do 1 or 2 sets and go as heavy as you can for like posterior, like pec deck flies. You could do 1 or 2 sets before leg day. People don't think about this. Like, yeah, you could warm up and do a little upper, but it doesn't take long to warm up for like a reverse pec deck. You swing your arms a little bit, do 1 or 2 very light sets, and then just do 1 or 2 hard right before legs. So you can prioritize small body parts and do it before a different workout, and it won't fatigue you at all. 2 sets of posterior deltoid before you do squats or something. That's not gonna be fatiguing at all. It's gonna be nice to have a nice fucking pump before you do legs or on the hack squat machine. It's not gonna fatigue you at all because it's a very isolated movement. So just keep that in mind. So necessary? Well, it depends. Necessary, when you ask in that sense, it depends. Do you need to bring up? I thought it was raining. It's only necessary if you need to bring up that body part, and then you should probably be prioritizing it. And you could prioritize it in different ways. So it might not be. For example, a lot of times I will do my upper body day, and then the day after I'll do, like on an off day, quote unquote, I'll do some calves and some forearms. And maybe before I do either of those, I'll do a set or 2 of posterior deltoid because I'm not really getting fatigued. But if I did on my upper body day, if I did T-bar rows, or I did it with my elbows a little bit more flared, I won't hit it separately. But if I did more lat focused for my back exercise, then I might throw it in. I might throw a couple sets in. I've spent years and years and years prioritizing my posterior deltoid, so I don't need to hit them as frequently, and I don't need to hit them with as much fervor in terms of bringing them up because they're already very well developed. Because whenever I did shoulder days in the past or arm days for like 2 decades, I've always done posterior deltoids first. because I never liked the look of them being under. I've always prioritized them. Always. If you have a shoulder day, do posterior deltoid first. Or any upper, if you have to bring it up. So. Okay. Papa-san, 05. How do you tell your teenage college kid she's getting heavy? That's a great question. Those words sound pretty good to me. But of course, that's going to be some
emotional damage.
You tell your kid, hey, you're looking fat. That's a great way to saddle your child with a therapy bill for the rest of their life. But I mean, truth is truth. Teenage college kid. I mean, the freshman 15 has turned into the freshman 30. This is why you don't let your kid go get indoctrinated in these fucking schools, these indoctrination centers. Man, fuck going to college, man. I am so shocked that people still send their kids to college or encourage that. What a fucking disaster. But anyway, in my opinion, like, they're their own person. If they're in college, they are an adult. Like, they should be handling their own. That's the whole point of starting your life. That's not what college does anymore, but that's the purpose. I mean, this is something that should have been done as they grow up. But of course, she's not sleeping well. She's probably on birth control or something horrible like that. And then she's eating garbage food at the school, not sleeping, So that's why. I don't know, man. I can't tell you how to tell your kid she's getting heavy. I mean, you had the 15, 18, 17 years of educating them properly, seeing that you're eating healthy and you're doing these things. When they go out to live their own lives, you can't control what they do anymore, but you can still lead by example. So my question would be, what did she grow up with? And what has she seen you do? Because if you're not living that lifestyle, then you're just being a hypocrite. And a lot of parents are hypocrites because they just tell their kids and they try to tell them what to do. You can't have this. You can't do this because I said so, because I'm your parent, because I'm this. It's not fair. Because you're a hypocrite and they've seen you be a hypocrite your whole life. So if you say they're getting heavy and they're like, look at your fat gut. Who the fuck are you talking about? I mean, the problem is, Cerny says, I'd educate them on what all the fat does to their body. I don't care how old they are. Yeah, that's important. The difference is people think that because their kids are in college, that their kids are intelligent. Education doesn't have, just because you're getting homeschooled or just because you're going to a college doesn't mean you're getting educated. So that doesn't mean that that doesn't say anything about the quality of the education. So if you're a fat parent, then you really don't have a leg to, this is literally, if you are fat yourself, you're just a hypocrite. So, hey, you're getting heavy. Imagine someone telling you, if your parent's like, hey, you're getting a little heavy, it could be absolutely true and you could know it's true. But if that parent that's telling you has a gut, then it's like, look in the fucking mirror, you fat fuck. It's going to come off with that kind of resentment because obviously you don't take care of yourself. So if you're a parent and your kid's getting a little bit heavier and they're not taking care of themselves and they grew up with you and you're muscular, you're lean, you don't compromise and you are on point with your shit, then you can say something. But you also don't really have to because you show it. You don't have to say it as often. You live the lifestyle and they grew up living that. So if you're going to tell someone or you're going to bring this kind of stuff up, you better be on yo shit 100%. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite and people are not going to listen to a fucking thing you say. And this is why people that known you for 5 years or 10 years or your parents or kids or this, and maybe you just kind of found the podcast and you're changing your life in the last year, that's not enough to change an identity. Everyone else remembers you when you were having pizza parties and all this crap. They just think you're on a new fad. Everyone starts something and quits. So everyone looks at that and be like, oh, that's just someone's dieting. Everyone diets and quits. So they just see you doing that change. Like, yeah, sure. Okay, fine. Once you do it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and every social function, you're bringing your own food, you're doing this, and you've changed so much, and that's who you are after years and years. This is from the people that are around you, not new people that you meet, but the people that have known you for your previous 20 or 30 years. Once you've been doing it for 5 or 10 years, it takes that fucking long, and they see this is who this person is. They're not changing. They've been like this for years. Then they might start like listening or asking. They'll stop pushing the shit on you. They will. I'm telling you, they stop criticizing or talk about this because that's who you are. What are they going to do? Like, you're eating that again? Yeah, this is what I've always been doing. What the fuck? And you're going to stop spending time with them if they keep giving you shit. But most people will stop talking about it because that's what you do. They're not taking it personally anymore because they realize that's who you are. You've made those changes. But if someone's known you for 20, 30 years, it's not going to happen in a year. It's just they perceive it as just another fad. Oh, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than us? Oh, you don't love me anymore because you're not hanging out with me. Oh, it's your gym and you got to bring your food everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. And they project their own insecurities because you're changing. They're not. They know they're a fat fuck. They wish they could, but they can't overcome that resistance. Stephen Pressfield style, The War of Art, great book. They can't overcome their demons. So they're projecting their own insecurities and self-hatred onto you, hoping that you come back and change. That way they don't feel like an other. That way you're not leaving them. You're not leaving the tribe. They feel better about their terrible habits. So fuck them. Go do your shit. They'll stop eventually. I don't get any shit. I bring my own food. Everyone might be like, oh, they know that's what I do. This is what I've always done. Mama Swole and I, we bring our food. We'll go and we'll hang out, but we bring, and everyone, it happens all the time. We go to a thing for like her family's like martial arts events and stuff like that. There's like a banquet, and yeah, they have like all the sushi, or they have all these like fried foods and cookie and all this stuff. We show up with like these glass Tupperware things, and we have like I have a big fucking ribeye and some white rice and butter, and everyone's looking over at that like, oh, because it looks so fucking good. And they're like, oh man, it looks great. Yeah, it fucking does. It's amazing. I'm eating a big old fucking ribeye steak while you're eating, I don't know, chicken fingers and some bullshit salad with some soy dressing all over it. Yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy your cookies. I'm gonna sit here and eat a fucking steak in front of your face. You could have brought one, and look, you could have brought one too. You could have cooked right? I mean, people just don't understand that. Yeah, it looks really good. It sure does. Because people don't think, oh, no one else is bringing their own food. That'd be weird. I don't give a fuck. I'm bringing my food. Everyone there could have brought their own food. Everyone there could have cooked first and then brought their food, but they don't. So it's like, I don't care. And I don't care what other people are doing. I'm not there to preach onto people. I'm just doing my thing. I'm not pushing like, hey, you should eat that. I'm not criticizing. And then people joke about that, right? And they'll joke about it. I don't take it personally because I don't care. I've been doing this for way too long. People will be like, I just feel like I'm being judged over here eating my plate. It's like, you should be. You should feel judged. You should be judging yourself. You shouldn't be putting that shit in your face. I feel judged. I'm like, well, you're the one eating the cookies, so I don't care how you feel. If you feel judged, as if it's as if my making better choices for my life is like an insult to you. And I'm not saying that it's like a conflict at these things, but this is how people would think. They feel like they're being judged. What? Because I made a choice. I'm eating this. I'm not even saying anything. They feel judged because they know. They have shame. They have guilt. They know they're eating shit. And because I brought my own food, it shows to them, oh my God, I am eating shit. I'm making this choice. This is the choice I made. That's a choice that he made. He made a much better choice. Oh shit. Oh, I feel judged. You're judging yourself because you know you're full of shit. You should have shame. You should feel bad about what you're doing. You are trashing your body. I'm not even saying it. I'm just leading by example. This is what I do. But that's how people think. And they should. You should have shame. We should have more shame. But it's fat shaming. Oh, shut the fuck up. We can't be, the problem in our society is because everyone gives a shit. We have this skew towards weak women, weak feminized men, and really weak fucking women that have allowed feelings to trump everything else. I don't give a fuck about your feeling. I don't care if you feel threatened. I don't care if you feel shame. You should feel shame. Oh, but fat shaming's bad. No, it's not. You should feel bad for being fat. You should feel bad for being obese. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself, and you're not. You should not be proud. Like, you should look in the mirror and be like, I fucking hate what I see. I don't blame you, but it's your fault. So either do something about it or shut up. Oh, that's rude. That's mean. That's fat phobic. No, it's not. It's the truth. You're just a weak person. So you internalize everything as, they're being mean to me. Oh, it's awful. Oh, then keep crying about it. Just don't waste my time. Excellent. Excellent. All right. David Picano. It's hot as fucking here. Papa Swole, do you use an app to track your workouts? Absolutely the fuck not. But you will be able to track and journal inside the Swolenormous app. I use a book, and I will be showing you all how I personally track, but I hate apps for tracking. I think it's disconnecting. I think you don't have it in front of your face. If it's not tangible, you don't see the progress. You don't connect with it in the same way. So I encourage everyone to get a fucking composition book and start tracking old school. It's much better. Far superior. You shouldn't be on your phone nonstop in the gym like a cuck. All right. So that one hurts a lot of people. But what else is new? You ready to go balls deep? Any other questions? No? Let's go. Sweet. Let's get in a couple videos.
That's deep.
All right. Pick a number 1, 2, 3, or 4. These all look very... Oh, we got some of this creepy Olympic shit. It's kind of old now. I mean, it's kind of old. I mean, I've been posting all this stuff like crazy on X. I'm not even going to go over my X timeline. There's just so much shit there. But let's just get into a couple of these videos, just in case other people haven't seen them. But I feel like we've talked about these a lot, but that's because I feel like because I have talked about on X often. But let's do, Jesus Christ, let's do positive charisma number 4. Let's get into the shit of it.
What's in the box?
It's called white arguments. All right, let's get into some racism. Let's do it.
This is probably one of the weirdest arguments that white people make on a regular basis. Because white people...
You can't look, if you're listening, you cannot say, this is the weirdest thing that white people make. You can't make racist comments when you look like that. When you look like an absolute fucking clown. You can't talk about anyone else. You cannot talk about anything. Anything.
Well, just blatantly disrespect us when a black voice is literally telling you, like, hey, don't do this.
I'll do whatever I fucking please. I don't care if your feelings are hurt. I don't care about your melanin content. You look like an absolute clown. This is a creepy, creepy person.
And then you're just like, why? I do it all the time and nothing happened. Like, what do you mean nothing happened? Like, do you mean nobody beat your fucking ass? Like, do we...
This is always said by someone who needs to get their ass beat. Like, this person's never gotten their ass beat. And that's why they think they can get away with saying all this shit. Like, honestly, that's often the case. The people with the loudest fucking mouths need someone to shut them up. I'm not endorsing violence, but I'm saying a lot of these people have never had their mouths shut for them.
Need to assault you in order to give us basic human respect? Do you mean nobody put their hands on you? Do you mean nobody felt comfortable enough to say something to you? Because as a white person, you're a fucking threat. So us saying something to you in person is literally putting us at risk? Do you mean nobody put themselves in a position to where you can play a victim, act like a white woman, call the cops, and get us killed for it? Is that what you mean when you say nothing happened? White people are not only so used to being included everything, but also us literally accommodating for them. And y'all wonder why I say keep black spaces black. Like, why are white people...
What's a black space? Can someone tell me what a black space is? What are you talking about? So again, it's a weird way of telling everyone that you're a racist, but I mean, I accept because you obviously are a racist. So what you're fighting for, you want to keep white people out of black spaces? What does that mean? Oh, you mean you hate white people because you're a racist? It's a weird long, that's a lot of words to say that you're a racist. There's simpler, just say it. I'm racist. I hate white people. That's all you have to say.
What, fucking entitled to shit that literally doesn't make sense for you. This is a traditional African hairstyle. It's made for...
So what she's wearing, okay. No. I am not an African hairstyle expert, but no, that's not a traditional African hairstyle. That's not. I don't know. I'm okay with that being, I'm okay with whatever this is not being in any of the space that I'm in, though. I mean, I don't care what your skin, if you were white, I mean, I would say, I don't want you in, I don't know. I don't want anything with that kind of hair. I don't want that attitude. I don't want that hairstyle. I don't want anything in this video anywhere near me. Unfortunately, I don't think I will ever have to suffer that fate. I don't care about your DNA or your heritage. I don't care about your melanin content, but everything I'm seeing and listening to, that's a no for me, dog.
kinky hair, which you do not have, Samantha. There is literally a white people version of this. I've seen it everywhere on the internet. I'm sure that you have too. But you don't fucking care. You want to do everything that we do because a black kid said that you can't. You think giving black people the power of having your respect is taking the power away from you. And that is a slave master mentality. You're sick in the head, friend. Go see a therapist.
Oof. I think that last line was some excellent advice. I think she should absolutely go see a therapist. Good Lord. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy to put that video out. I don't think that's going to turn out the way she had hoped. All right, pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Let's try to forget everything that just happened the last few minutes. Let's get our life back a little bit. Let's go into the Olympics. If you didn't see this, I have literally watched probably 10 seconds of the Olympics by accident because something showed up in my feed. I don't care about the Olympics. It's very convenient the Olympics are going on now. It's absolutely 100% a distraction. It's not what you think it is. You can watch it. A lot of people are like obsessed and rapt watching. I couldn't give less of a fuck. Anyone that's absorbing themselves in the Olympics, it's really a cope to not focus on anything that's important in their life. It's an escape and it's a distraction, especially now. So don't get sucked into it. Sure, you might want countries and you can watch a race, competition. But come on, we know that there's much more important things going on in the world. And if you want to be a drone and unplug and just follow the bouncing ball, then do so. But check out this video if you missed it. It hurts to watch. So this is, if you didn't hear about, this is the opening ceremony or part of it. You've probably heard all the complaints on that already.
Je sais où vous pensez, mais c'est pas une bonne idée. Ouais, plus de riches, plus de pauvres quand on redevient tout nu. Oui, qu'on soit slim, qu'on soit gros, on est tout simplement tout nu.
I love not knowing a language because it sounds like gibberish.
Vivons comme on est né, nu, vivons comme on est né.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm done. Yeah, so obviously they completely mocked Christianity and the Last Supper, and it was super cringe. It was just trying to be, aside from going too deep in all of it, it was trying to be, offensive for offensive's sake. There wasn't anything artistic or beautiful, or there was nothing, whenever a country hosts the Olympics, it's supposed to be something about that country, right? It's supposed to be showing off the culture and like being proud. Hey, it's in France and Paris. Like, let's show them what we're made of, why we have the Olympics and why France or Paris or wherever it's hosted, why that host country is so great. This just tells everyone that France is a fucking lost shithole, honestly. So that's, throughout the years, you always watch the opening ceremony because it was a really big performance and production, again, showing off the prowess, and it's kind of like a flex for the country. It's supposed to be bringing a lot of money and attention and travel and this, that, and the other. The spotlight's on your country, on your city or whatever it is for, the 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever the hell the Olympics is. So anyway, this guy, this was it was all over the news. It was all over the news if you actually pay attention to real news, unless you watch like corporate media. But this guy had his ball sack hanging out. So they were just, drag queens, the Ozempic games, so to speak. Drag queens, fat, nasty women. And this is gross. It was grotesque. And they started going after people that were sharing clips because they're so embarrassed. They deleted it from their profile. That was really, really cringe. Really cringe and gross. So if you haven't seen it, and like Loretta says, I was fine with Life of Brian, but this offended me involving kids too far. Yeah, they had kids in there too with the drag queens.
How shall we fuck off, oh no?
And Life of Brian made fun of Judaism and Christianity. Like, Life of Brian was hilarious because it was funny for funny's sake. It was a satire. It was a comedy. It was supposed to be a comedy, but it was so ridiculous, but it wasn't trying to be something serious. It wasn't sinister. It wasn't trying to reprogram society. It wasn't. Yeah, go watch the movie. It's one of the best movies. One of the best movies. Life of Brian. It's one of the best, if not probably the best, Monty Python movie. Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. All right.
What's in the box?
Let's see. Let's do one more, two more. Fat phobia harms everyone. Fat phobia
harms everyone. It creates a culture.
Okay, we gotta have one of these voices. So if you can't talk, don't make videos. No, my voice is raspy because I tried to deep throat a Twinkie.
Fat phobia harms everyone. It creates a culture where a group of people are allowed to be mistreated solely based on their appearance. And that mistreatment expands beyond more than just harmful words exchanged.
It's so hard to listen to people that can't, like, my God, Jesus Christ. No, I mean, look, if you're fat, everyone's acting like people hate on fat people. If you are obese, come on, you are just showing everyone that you hate yourself. You hate yourself, which is why you trash your body. But it's coping. But I had trauma. It's like, well, you're handling it really shitty. You're not really doing better for yourself. Shouldn't you be trying to heal and take care of yourself in the best way possible? No, you feel comfortable being under assault and just destroying yourself. So it's not making it better. It's a coping cope. Stop shoving garbage in your face. Take care of yourself, and you'll feel better about everything because you'll be a tougher, more resilient person.
Between strangers, it impacts fat people's actual livelihood, like their ability to be hired, for example, or the likelihood that they'll be found guilty of a crime. And when we allow a culture to exist in this capacity, when we allow a culture to be built on vitriol, it's not as containable as we think. It's not just fat people that experience, that witness fat phobia. And
what? Jesus Christ. If you put half the energy into like maybe lifting some weights, you wouldn't actually have anything to complain about.
that witnessing creates this subculture of fear. People are afraid to be fat. Some people, it is their worst fear. Because
again, I've talked about this many times. It's not a rational fear. All you have to do is have fundamental, just basic habits and you won't be fat. So it doesn't even make sense. You can't have a fear of being fat. I know you can make an argument that you can, fine. A fear? And say, I'm so afraid of being fat. I'm not. I lift weights and I eat real food. And guess what? I'm not fat. There's no place for there's no need for the fear. Sure, you could have irrational fears about anything. It doesn't make sense. Like usually people have fears about things that they can't avoid. You know, I have a fear of heights. Okay, then don't go to the top of a tall building and look down. Don't go to the Sears Tower. Don't go to the Empire State Building. I have a fear of heights. Like you can overcome those things and go skydiving and, you know, challenge yourself. Fine. But it's like, I have a fear of caving in claustrophobic places. Well, that's the easiest thing to avoid. You never have to worry about going caving. You don't have to climb into a cave. So that's an easy thing to avoid.
they know what's coming for them. And we also understand that nobody is safe. Any trait that you possess could at any time become the subject of public vitriol, which makes us all afraid because we understand, okay, today it's me, but tomorrow it could be you.
Are you talking about communism? First they came for my friends, and then they came for me, and there was no one else left to speak up for me. Menopause fat is a real thing. Yeah, I mean, also terrible habits are a real thing. I mean, these things that are compounded over the course of 40 and 50 years until you hit menopause. Habits stack up. Habits stack up. I'm not saying it's not a real thing and people change and people go through different things, but a lot of people go through that and are successful or don't suffer the same consequences for a reason. This is why you start now. This is why you start now and stop making excuses across the board. Everyone. You know, we're all dying. We're all getting older. We're all going to be getting weaker over time. But you are the product of your habits. Period. End of story. You are the product of your habits. So if you're 50, you are the product of your habits since you were 5, 10, 15. And a lot of us, or a lot of you, may have had rough beginnings. You might have had a rough first 10, 15, 20 years. Cool. But then the last 20 years was your responsibility and you didn't change. You didn't make improvements. I only started getting my sleep in order, 5 years ago or abouts, and still maybe even less. I'm still working on it. I still work to improve it. So the most important thing is you make those changes, but you're not in denial about the side effects. So for people that maybe, 30 years of terrible habits or 35 years of terrible habits, and then you start improving yourself, and then you deal with, and then you have like 5, right? So let's say you shitty habits until you're 40, you find the Daily Swole and you come around, you start taking care of yourself, and then menopause hits 42, 43, 45. I mean, everyone's different, right? And then it's like, this is a real struggle. It's like, yeah, but 5 years of taking care of yourself or 4 years of taking care of yourself doesn't outweigh the first 40. So a lot of people just don't understand that it's not just, hey, I lost 50 pounds. Now I'm the weight I was in college. It's like, okay, but we still have the compounded exposure to environmental toxins and excessive storage of fat and all these other things, and birth control and SSRIs and who the fuck knows, what you've been exposing yourself to for 4 decades. A few years of eating healthy and losing some extra adipose tissue doesn't unwind all the environmental exposure and habits for your entire life. And this is why a lot of people wonder why it's so hard to make those changes. The longer you wait, the harder it is to reverse that train or to slow it down. You have much more momentum, and it's much harder to make the changes as you get older. So start now. Start early. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about, right? And I would agree. I mean, I'm just going to say it. It's true. I wish I started certain things earlier. You can always look back. Oh, I wish I started this. I wish I bought Bitcoin in 2011. I wish I started focusing 100% on sleep when I was 20 or when I was in high school, and I put that as a number one. You just don't do everything. But when you come across information, you learn and you apply it. Just understand what we're working against. We're always working against the clock. We're trying to reverse chronological age. Biological age. You can't reverse chronological age. So we're all getting older. We're all decaying. So slow that decay. Give yourself the highest chance of success. This is what bothers me about females in particular that don't lift heavy weights. Women are at much higher risk for osteoporosis. Your bones, that's where your muscles act upon. That's where you store minerals, and it's your bone density is so important. But people don't lift heavy weights because I don't want to get bulky, or I don't lift weights. Oh, but I like Zumba instead, or blah, blah, blah. But it's so hard. I don't have time. It's like you will wish you made time when you're 50 years old and you have to take medication because, you sit down too hard and you break your hip. Like, that's real shit. You trip and fall and you have no grip strength, so you can't grab a wall, and you fall and you break your hip, and then you can't walk for the rest of your life because your body can't repair the bone damage because you have no bone density, you have no minerals. You're just like your bones are just like sponges, and they fracture and they crack like cheap plywood because you never lifted weights, you never exposed yourself to resistance and to stress. So you're gonna wish when you have to have your ass wiped for the last 20 years of your fucking life. So either you do it or you don't, or you make excuses, but spend more time with elderly people. I spent many years training elderly people and seeing what happens when you let your life go to shit. I've trained so many people that are wealthy. I've trained Holocaust survivors, okay? I know what it's like to be, the stories that I've fucking heard. Yeah, I've had clients with fucking number tattoos on their arms, okay? I've seen this shit and I've heard the stories, and I know what it's like for people and what they have to do to survive. And I understand what it's like to not being able to move when you're older. I know training people and having to wait a minute or two for them to catch their breath by just doing the machine without any weight on the stack. And they had to sit there for 2 minutes to catch their breath to even be able to stand up and move to the next machine. They didn't even lift any weight. They just moved their body. And I've seen them show up to the gym in their nice brand new Cadillac or their Range Rover or whatever fucking new car they have. They have money. They obviously made money or had investments, fine, but they can barely fucking move. And it's grotesque. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. So yeah, there are amazing, there's a beautiful thing about being absolutely petrified of being immobile and weak when you're older. You got to stop like, oh, fat phobia. Oh my God, fat phobia. These people are going to be immobile and they're going to be dying young and they're not gonna be able to fucking move. So yeah, you should be petrified of not being able to move. But guess what? You can be petrified. Like, I never want to be like that. I'm like, I never want to be like that, ever. So guess how I solve that? I take care of myself now, and I exercise and I move. I'm not gonna have to worry about that. Tragedies happen, things happen, but I am doing the things that are required in order to avoid those things. So I don't have to be afraid of it. In my head, it's like, yeah, I never want that. So I just do the things that will not take me down that road. It's not complicated. I don't have to manifest that fear of like, I got to work out today so I can move when I'm older. It's just what I do now. I know I'm not going to be immobile. So that's that. On Miyogi says, I want to drop dead, quote, suddenly in my late 90s. Well, don't get experimental vaccines then. No, I want to drop, yeah, in your late 90s, like in your 90s, I'm in the hack squat and I just hit a fucking PR and then I'm out. What a way to go. What a way to go. Under the fucking bar. Just hit a PR. Literally the last set to fucking failure. You just finish that last rep, you made it, full extension, bam, and then just die. Just go on the way out with a PR. Fucking awesome. To absolute, that's a set to absolute fucking failure. What a way to go. What a way. Forget the fucking hospital bed. I'm under the bar. Just finish that last rep, bam. That's a set to failure. Yeah. That's there's no more failure than that. Just fucking boom. Finish the rep, bam, lock out, cut it. Fucking cut it, right? To absolute failure. The true set to failure. The purest set. The pure failure. Pure failure. That's it. That's the dream. The ultimate set. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's the failure that matters. Just failure. Of course, it's like if no one's around to log it, it didn't go in the logbook, so did it really happen? It's like, Cerny, I want to be buried with my gym equipment. You never know. Yeah, like you drop it in the ground. There's like a squat rack and squat stands down there. Throw a couple 45s in there. Yeah, a couple 45s, a barbell. Don't forget my wrist wraps. A little protein just in case. You never know. Maybe I need something. The ultimate set to failure. Let's see. Elizabeth, I'm glad I started training in high school, but my nutrition and sleep weren't taken more seriously until my late 30s, and my goal is longevity and being physically capable to run around with my great-grandkids. Me too. I started training in high school too. My nutrition and sleep were not taken more seriously until my 30s. Me too. I mean, I was doing pretty good with nutrition in my 20s, but I was doing pretty damn good. But my sleep, no. Wasn't doing good with that. I agree. And that's the important thing. Like, so your priorities change. When you have kids, when you have a family, you start thinking about things differently, right? So for right now, I train for me, but I'm also training for my future. And when I lift, I'm not just training for me. I'm training for Mama Swolio because she deserves someone who takes care of themselves. You know, I'm a lot older than her. So I want to be around. I don't want her to have to take care of me. I don't want her have to like push me around. She would too. She's an amazing woman, but I don't want that. You know, I need to make up for that lost. I need to make up that ground. I need to do the best that I can. And that's all I can do, right? I can do the best that I can. And then the chips will fall where they may. But you can say like, oh, we did this and then you have that. And then this happened at this age. Imagine what would have happened if I didn't. So we have genetics. We all have like a certain straw that we draw. And maybe there's diseases out there. There's unforeseen occurrences. But imagine what would happen if you don't. So let's say you have congenital defects or something that means a lot of your people in your family have a disease when they're in their 50s or 60s. Well, imagine if you trashed yourself. It's probably going to happen more readily or sooner, or maybe your percentages of suffering a similar fate go up dramatically. It's like, give yourself the best chance to be successful, the best chance. There are a lot of people that have, you know, one of the most inheritable things I think is like heart disease. If you have a family history of heart disease, it's like a very high chance that you have the same congenital defect. But there's a lot of people that like, you know, father had a heart attack at 30 or 35 and his father at 35 and his father. But then people that exercise, maybe they do have a heart attack, but they live until 50 or 55. It's like, imagine if they didn't. They got 25 or 20 extra fucking years. So it's not like a waste of time. Yeah, you still died. Well, we're all dying, but that's not an excuse to not invest in yourself and do better. That's just a lazy way of being like, well, we're all going to die, so I'm just going to ride this till the wheels fall off. Yeah, okay. The wheels are going to fall off for everyone, but some are going to fall off at 55 or 60. Other people, they're going to fall off when they're 80. It's like people don't realize how much more life you have. And the beginning half of your life is really training and preparing for the back half. And if you have a family, then you have people that are living on beyond yourself. And then you have that kind of immortality. That's what family and children do, is they give you that immortality. They give you that life beyond your own life. And you leave behind that and you feel good and you're able to know that you left, you're still living on beyond your own life. Lead by example, right? That's what leading is. Parenting is leading. Your community is leading. So how are you leading? Are you leading by criticizing other people and just telling other people what they should do? I do that. I'm telling other people what they probably should do. I can't force anyone to do it. So I'm projecting this out there, but I'm also doing it myself. So people in my circle know that I'm doing these things and they know that's what I do. And a lot of people around me they just by proxy, by knowing that I'm around and knowing that I do these things, they generally ask questions. Hey, where do you get your meat? Because they come over for dinner. And they eat amazing food. Like, man, this tastes fucking amazing. I never had a steak that tasted like this or food that tastes like this. This butter is fucking amazing. Where'd you get this? I tell them where I get it. I tell them how I cook it. Yeah, here's where I get this. Oh, man. And they start ordering food from these places. And they start, feeling better. And like, man. So it's like that. I'm doing it myself. And I'm the example. And that's a product of me being successful with what I'm doing. And other people see success. They generally are attracted to that. They want that too. They might be embarrassed to ask, but they usually do. But if I'm just around telling people, you should be eating this, you should be eating this, I'm stuffing pizza and eating garbage and I'm a fat fuck, no one's going to listen to me. Why would you? Why should you? Are you going to take business advice from someone who's never had a successful business? No. If anything, you're listen to what they say and be like, well, that's going to be incorrect, and maybe do the opposite. So you can still learn what not to do. You can learn what not to do. But if you're really trying to learn from someone, you might know everything. Like, that's why you have people out there that talk like they know, muscle science. They know the muscles attach here. Here you should do this. Here you should do that. You can say and know all those things, but if you're fucking skinny, honestly, shut the fuck up. You might know what you're talking about, but there's a limitation for a human being to like actually absorb that information. If you don't look the part, if you don't look like you lift, you don't have to be the biggest person in the world, but you need to look like you actually know how to build muscles. Stop talking to me about arm angles and this, that, and the other and proper form if you look like you've never lifted a day in your life. People don't like hypocrisy. So anyway, don't be a hypocrite. This is why people are pissed off at Democrats and the left and progressives, because they're hypocrites. People don't like hypocrites. They don't like people that are projecting their own things, like blaming you for doing something and they're doing it, or telling you not to do something while they're doing it. The left is just full of fucking hypocrites. They have to be, because their lies are exactly that. So that's why people are really upset and they see all this shit. It's just hypocrisy, which is just hypocrisy is just really essentially lying, is having no integrity. Okay. We got one more. Mel. Papa, have you seen videos of Anatoly? How he lifts so much weight, he's shredded, but doesn't have any mass. I think I know what you're talking about. Is that the guy who like does those janitor videos and like just goes over and deadlifts like a few hundred pounds or like 500 pounds or whatever it is? Isn't he a power lifter? There's difference between strength. Everyone's different. Everyone's structure is different. Everyone's muscle density and strength capacity is different. Strength does not necessarily mean hypertrophy. It does after a certain point. But you can fire motor neurons and motor unit recruitment, have proper form and technique that can allow you to lift a lot of weight relative. This is what powerlifting and the competitions do, because that's why you have weight classes, because more mass moves mass. So you're able to, the stronger, like if you have Anatoly, I don't know how much he weighs. Let's say he weighs 180 pounds. If you have someone who trains like him, who's 250 pounds, obviously that person's going to be deadlifting. You need to be able to have enough mass to lift. At a certain point, you have to build muscle and get bigger in order to move more mass. So the guys that do deadlifts with 1,000 pounds or whatever it is, like Thor Bjornsson, like these guys are brick shit houses. You have to have that much mass to lift, the weight. So that, I mean, it's different when we talk about competitions and people like that do competitive lifting, but it's very technique oriented and it's not about getting bigger. It's about getting stronger for your given body weight, which is a very specific type of adaptation and a very specific way of training and a very specific way of dieting and nutrition, because Anatoly or whomever can gain more weight, but then of course their ability to, because it's not absolute strength, it's relative strength. So it's much more, or it's equally as impressive, right? So if you have someone who's 300 pounds and they deadlift 600, it's still impressive, right? 600 pounds is a lot of fucking weight. But if you're 150 pounds and you're deadlifting 600 or whatever the record is, like, holy shit, someone, or 200 pounds and you deadlift 600, it's much more impressive because the relative strength. You have 200 pounds of muscle and mass and whatever it is, because 200 pounds is 200 pounds of water, fat, muscle, everything. Your entire structure is 200 pounds, counterbalance with the weight. So relative strength is what power lifters and, you know, people that do that, that's what's based off. It's based off weight classes for a reason, because it's not absolute strength. Because if you have someone who's 150 pounds versus someone who's 250, it's not fair. Because if they're both lifting 600 pounds, or one person, the guy who's 250 lifts 650, wow, you're so much stronger. Not really, not relatively. Because if you're 150 and you're lifting 600 pounds, that relative strength is much greater than the absolute strength. And this is what's beautiful about that, is you're working to improve yourself. So relative strength is much more important. This is why when I talk about machines or I talk about going up in weight, it doesn't matter if I'm doing 300 pounds and you're doing 150. It doesn't matter if you're doing one chest machine that says, oh, this stack says 250, but another machine you go to a gym says 400. Well, how many pulleys does it have? If you have multiple pulleys, you're not lifting as much absolute weight. So it's really relative to the machine. Are you doing another rep with that given weight on that machine? This is why it's very important. That's why you can't change the exercise. Don't change the gym. Don't change the dumbbells. Don't change which machine you use, whether it's stack or plates or this. Don't just change random shit, because like the weight is not equal. You put on 2 plates on a chest machine at LA Fitness and it's a hammer strength machine. Those 2 plates on each side on a hammer strength chest press is going to feel much different than if you go and you find a plate loaded Body Masters chest press somewhere else. The angles are going to be different. The strength profile is different. That's why some machines will feel really heavy relative to other ones. It's because of where the strength is, the handles, the position, the angles, everything. So it's really about you battling yourself and getting that extra pound or that extra rep over time, and not comparing yourself to other people. I know that wasn't your question, but just kind of went off on that. Let's do one more video. This is
What's in the box?
Not voting for Trump. Shocker, I wouldn't expect you to have brain cells with whatever the fuck that face is.
You're only voting for Kamala because she's not Trump.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I would rather vote for a moldy ham sandwich before I would vote for Donald Trump.
That's weird. That's weird. This person, and this is something that they said out loud, which is even crazier and potentially scary. A moldy sandwich than Donald Trump. These are people that have never listened to Donald Trump talk. They've never listened to him have a conversation like off stage. They don't understand who he is. They didn't grow up in New York City like I did, you know, and hearing about Trump and all the stuff that he did that was great for New York City. They don't know anything about this guy. They just know all the lies that the media has perpetuated. So it's like, that's the stupidest thing to say. I mean, I would definitely vote for Kamala Harris over a moldy sandwich. Actually, you know what? She has a good point. No, I take that back. I'd probably vote for a moldy sandwich over Kamala Harris. Yeah, all right. So I guess we agree. Yeah. No, I take it back. I thought, no, I totally would.
I would vote for Joe Exotic before I'd vote for Donald Trump. I would vote for Miss Rachel before I'd vote for Donald Trump.
Who's Miss Rachel?
I would vote for that puddle of nasty trash water that kind of builds up between the rails on the subway in New York before I would vote for Donald Trump.
Oof. Between the rails on the subway. What? I haven't lived in New York City in a long time, and I'm probably never going to go back. I never want to go back.
Way in New York before I would vote for kind of builds up between the rails on the subway in New York before I would vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, the rails like on the yeah, that's nasty.
Because I believe that man is terrible for our country. I give not 2 shits if you think less of me for that.
Well, okay. Well, I do. I mean, I didn't think much of you to begin with, so I don't think I think less of you. to be honest. You were in my folder, so I had no standards whatsoever. So I couldn't have thought less of you already. If I see you in my folder, my expectations are, there's no surprise. It's already it's bottom tier.
Don't care. If it takes funny memes and cunty edits on TikTok to elect Kamala Harris, so fucking be it. Team Coconut Tree, baby. Stay mad about it. We'll see you in November.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking white liberal women are the worst thing on this planet. The worst. The worst. Liberal women are already the worst, but white liberal women? Oh my God. That's not racist. That's a fact. I'm white. I know. White liberal women are the worst. The worst. The worst. That's like, white liberal women are literally, that's like, I don't know. That's like social kryptonite. It's social kryptonite. Because these people have just grown up with no locus of control. This is the type of person that's going to vote against Donald Trump because he's going to force people to have babies. This woman is under no risk of having a child. You know why? Because she has to be penetrated first. And who is going to fuck that? I'm serious. Who is going to fuck that? I'm not saying that to be mean, but come on. Any takers? You don't even need beer goggles. You need beer like X-ray vision. I don't even know what you need. You need to look like Cyclops from the X-Men. Like you need some kind of it's not even goggles. You need like it's like Gaugelets. You need something. I don't know what you need. You need eyes. You know what you need? You need like the Furian eyes from Chronicles of Riddick. You need that kind of shit. You need that kind of vision or something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you need to penetrate that. Melissa says roofied. Yeah. I mean, that would probably do it. You'd have to be drugged. Yep. That's probably it. Melissa nailed it. Well, I guess there is something for everyone. Steffi says paper bag. Oof. What kind of paper bag? Like a Whole Foods bag. See, the classic paper bag is usually like, a lunch bag, but times have changed. We need like an actual like we need like a Whole Foods, like double ply type thing here. Elizabeth says, come on, dick drafters, do your part. Oof. That's Elizabeth wants to who's doing that? I mean, Mark's been in Chicago. Mark's been on the front lines for years. I don't know if Mark has anything left in him. Do we have any more men? Where's my urban swole slots? Does anyone have any? I don't even know if we have any. I don't know if we have any personnel that's free at this time. We're stretched thin. We really are. It's been a while. We've been stretched thin for a while. Dewey says, I porked plenty of big liberal white women. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. The Dewey, you want this one? What do you need to complete this mission, Dewey? Maybe I'll send her a message, a DM. Mark says that's a kamikaze mission. Fine, I'll do it. Jesus. Well, Dewey might be our go-to on this one. Dewey says, no thanks, I'm taken. All right, Mark, you're up. All right. Okay. No, Dewey. No. Dewey already stepped down.
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face.
Respect, I get you.
Deliver
I hear
one
you.
of these right in your
It's on the...
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No, not really. It's your face.
I know, this was unexpected. We didn't put everyone on the spot here. Dewey says 12 years ago I would have jumped on that grenade. Fucking Captain Swole America over here. Good for you. What a gentleman, a scholar. All right, I'm okay. I'm taking that off the screen. I realized I was just sitting there for a while. Yeah. The worst. Just the absolute worst. Fuck me, man. They're the worst. White. What we talk about that? Talk about that in the group, right? Was it Michael Malice? Affluent, white, female urban liberals, awfuls. Is that what Michael Malice called it? It is really affluent, white, right? Female urban liberals, right? Awfuls. I think we talked about it in the roundtable last week. Roundtable on Thursday, by the way. But that's an awesome acronym. Awfuls. It's so true. It's so true. You know, there's so many people that are just trying to tiptoe around everyone's feelings, but these are people that have been programmed. They've been told. And women, especially the awfuls, are the weakest and the most susceptible to social engineering in the sense that they're the easiest to be programmed. Because if you have a society that doesn't have strong men, then guess what? You're going to have a lot of beta women that are stepping up and trying to fill that role, and they can't. It's just not what women are supposed to do. And we have a society that's been told like, oh, strong men is bad, toxic masculinity. This is why you see like the transition, pun intended, over time, right? I mean, when were you talking about the toxic? When was the toxic masculinity? You hear about it, but it's not really the front. It's gone so much further now. It's like men are women, women are men. Like there's no, it keeps on going, get more and more insane. But remember 2017, you know, the podcast, like it used to be toxic masculinity. It was like the Gillette ads in 2019 or 18. You know, it started with all that, you know, men are bad, men are evil, not strong. The patriarchy, you start hearing this shit more and more. But this has been in institutions for decades. You know, we've been taught that white people are evil because some people had slaves hundreds of years ago. It's like, okay, well, we are the most diverse country on the planet. We're successful, this, that, and the other. Yeah, but in the past, bad things happened. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Cool story, Hansel. You know, things have to move forward. History is history for a reason. You know, it's not like Genghis Khan is just killing 10% of the fucking population still, just raiding through, you know, Asia. You know, things are so bad. Things are so bad. You used to be living in your tribe, you're farming, you know, long, hard day. And then a fucking Mongolian horde would just ride into your town, kill everyone. And we're talking about, people don't realize, if you don't listen to history or podcasts, history podcasts, or read books or anything about this, there used to be mountains of bones. There used to be mountains of bones to the point where you'd have people traveling from country and from area to area, and they thought there were mountains. They get closer to these large, massive structures. They thought there were mountains from the distance, like a mirage. They get closer, they realize they're just dead bodies, just skeletons piled to the fucking sky. Because they would just kill everyone. They would take the women, rape them, kill them, just murder everyone. Yeah, we don't live in that kind of world, which is great. I'm super stoked that all of a sudden a Mongolian horde isn't just going to fly through the street. Imagine just people showing up and just killing you and everyone around you for no reason. We're here now and you're dead. That's what it was like. But yeah, things are so bad. Things are so bad. I mean, I go in the backyard. Look, people that act like times are so much better now are really full of shit. Do you have any idea what it's like for me to get Wi-Fi reception in the back corner of my yard? Like, I might need to get a router extender. It's fucking brutal. Oh my God. This is what happens when things are way too easy. You have the ability for these absolute retards to post this stuff online. But at least we are so fortunate to listen to it. All right, let's get a little tainty boy. He's so cute. Aww. He's so wonderful. So wonderful. Lovely tainty man. Good boy. That's a good boy. And Churchy's over here. All right, hashtag SFGs. If you forgot, it's hashtag sick fucking gains. It's swole card time. Fam, we also have a roundtable event. So Thursday's episode will be private, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. Don't miss out on that. SFGs to win today's swole card. Let's pick a winner. Falcon. Yep, there it is. Sick fucking gains. Sick fucking gains. What kind of gains do you make? Do you make gains? We got a winner. It's in the Telegram chat. Isaiah Ortiz. Congratulations. Hey-o. I don't know if you're still watching live, but Mr. Isaiah sent us an email to supportusenormous.com, swole card 3007, 3007. Wow, 3007.
Wow.
And we'll send you today's swole card. Everyone tag Isaiah, let him know they won today's swole card. Congratulations. And Beaches, of course, we'll be back tomorrow for another episode. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share the show with your friends. If you have not yet done so, fam, I know a lot of you like to watch on Rumble. You like to watch on YouTube or the Telegram chat. Take a moment, go over to Spotify, make sure you subscribe to the show because the weekend episodes, you're getting the exclusive episodes on Spotify. Make sure you check that out and respond to Swole Text if you're a member. So maybe you'll be featured in an upcoming episode. But make sure you leave a 5-star review if you enjoy the show. It helps tremendously. And let's fucking go. We're getting after it. So go to the fucking gym and appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swole. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies.